Hey, I'm Monty. Before we dive in, I want to be straight with you. I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not here to sell you a dream. What I do is take real data, run the numbers, and break it down in plain English so you can make your own call. Every stat I use will have a source on screen. Every strategy I share is one I've actually researched. No hype, no shortcuts. Just the information you need to move forward. That's Monty's promise. Let's get into it. Here's a question I want you to answer honestly. What would you do if your car broke down tomorrow and the repair bill came to $1,200? Would you have the money sitting somewhere, ready to go? Or would you reach for a credit card and figure it out later? If it's the second option, you're in the majority. A 2024 Federal Reserve report found that 57% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency expense from savings alone. They'd need to borrow, sell something, or go into debt to handle it. And here's the thing, that's not a character flaw. That's a system problem. Nobody teaches you this. Most financial advice skips straight to index funds and retirement accounts, which is great, but it misses the foundation that makes all of that actually work. Today, I went through the data, broke down every major strategy, and I'm going to give you a clear step-by-step system to build your emergency fund in 2026, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck right now. No fluff, no impossible advice, just the math and the method. Let's start with why almost everyone who tries this fails before they even begin. Let's talk about the 3 to 6 months rule. Because on paper, it makes sense. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau recommends having 3 to 6 months of essential expenses saved. And they're right. That's the real target. But here's the problem. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and someone tells you to save 3 to 6 months of expenses, what does that mean in actual dollars? Let's say your essential monthly costs, rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, come to $2,500 a month. 3 months is $7,500. 6 months is $15,000. For someone struggling to save anything, that number isn't motivating. It's paralyzing. And when a goal feels unreachable, our brains disengage every time. You close the tab, tell yourself you'll deal with it later, and the fund stays at zero. Here's what the data actually shows about real financial emergencies. According to a 2023 Bankrate study, the average unexpected expense that derails a household budget is $3,500, not $15,000. Not 6 months of rent, $3,500. A broken water heater, a medical copay, a car transmission, a surprise job gap. That's what an emergency fund is actually for in most cases. And that changes where you should start. There's also the hidden cost of not having one. The average credit card APR in 2026 is sitting between 21 and 23%. That means a $1,500 emergency on a credit card, paid off over 12 months, costs you an extra $180 to $220 in interest every single time it happens. Without an emergency fund, you're paying a penalty tax on bad luck, and that interest compounds your financial stress every month until it's cleared. So here's the real problem we're solving today, not the full 6-month fund. The vulnerability problem first. By the way, I built a free Google Sheets tracker that does all of this math automatically. You put in your income and your expenses, and it calculates your emergency fund target and tracks your monthly progress. The link is in the description. It's free. No credit card, just a copy of the sheet. Okay, let's build this fund. Step 1. Target $1,000 first. Not 3 months. Not 6 months. $1,000. The $1,000 starter emergency fund is the most consistently research-backed starting point in personal finance. Here's why it works. $1,000 covers approximately 70% of the emergency situations that actually hit people under 40. Car repairs, medical copays, appliance replacements, minor income gaps. You eliminate most of your financial vulnerability with that single milestone. And critically, it's achievable. Saving $100 a month, you hit $1,000 in 10 months. At $200 a month, 5 months. That's a goal your brain can actually see finishing. Step 2. Calculate your real number. Here's how to find your actual emergency fund target, not a generic answer. Add up only your essential monthly expenses: rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, minimum debt payments, and transportation. Nothing discretionary. That total is your baseline. Multiply by 3 if you have a stable job and dual income. Multiply by 6 if you're single income, self-employed, or have dependents. If your essentials are $2,200 per month, your minimum target is $6,600. But remember, you're starting at $1,000. Then you build toward that number. Step 3. Automate on payday. This is the single move that separates people who actually build emergency funds from people who plan to. Set up an automatic transfer to a separate savings account, not your main checking, on the same day your income arrives, before you see it, before you spend it, even $50 to start. A 2022 National Bureau of Economic Research study found that people who automate savings save an average of 3.4 times more than those who transfer manually. The behavior doesn't change. The friction does. Remove the decision. The money moves itself. The right home for your emergency fund is a high-yield savings account, commonly called an HYSA. In 2026, the best HYSAs are paying between 4 and 5% APY. That's not nothing. On a $3,000 emergency fund, that's $120 to $150 in interest per year. Money you earn just for having it sit there. Compare that to a standard savings account at a traditional bank, which averages around 0.4% APY. Same money, same zero risk, a 10 times difference in return. Critically, HYSAs are FDIC insured up to $250,000, and the money is available within 1 to 3 business days if you need it. Here's what you do not want to do. Do not keep your emergency fund in your regular checking account. The reason is behavioral, not mathematical. When the money is in the same account you use daily, it doesn't feel like an emergency fund. It feels like a balance. And balances get spent. A separate account with a separate login creates the friction that protects the fund. You also don't want to put your emergency fund in the stock market. I know the returns look better, but the whole point of this fund is that it's there when you need it, in the amount you expect. The market dropped 30% in 6 weeks in early 2020. If your fund was invested in February 2020 and you lost your job in March 2020, you'd be selling at exactly the worst possible moment. Keep the emergency fund in cash, in an HYSA. That's it. Let's bring this all together. The system is 3 steps. 1. Target $1,000 first. That single milestone eliminates roughly 70% of your financial vulnerability. 2. Calculate your real number, essentials only, times 3 or 6, depending on your income situation. That's your long-term target. 3. Automate on payday. Set a transfer before you see the money, even $50, especially when things are tight. And keep the fund in a high-yield savings account separate from your spending account, earning 4 to 5% APY in 2026. That's the foundation. Not glamorous, not exciting. But this is the step that makes everything else, investing, wealth building, peace of mind, actually possible. The free tracker I mentioned is in the description. It has an emergency fund calculator built right in. Put in your essential expenses, and it gives you your exact target in seconds. If this video helped you think about emergency funds differently, drop a comment below. What's your current savings goal? I read every comment, and they shape what I cover next. Subscribe if you want to follow this series. We're building from the foundation up, one step at a time. I'll see you in the next one.